Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
All right, Delora, post-Thanksgiving, time to get back on the mic. Welcome back, everybody. How you feeling? How you living?
Hello. 2024 is almost over, Ashley. It's kind of mind-boggling. Is it me or did it kind of go by fast?
The latter half went by very fast, in my opinion. I cannot believe it seems like it was just summer, and now that I'm back in Ohio, the thick of winter. It feels like already.
So, you know what's so funny? We took a trip in July, and I didn't have any significant vacation until Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I was thinking, oh, that stretch isn't that bad. Never again, Ashley. Never again. Make sure I don't know if I'm just talking to myself to remind myself you need a break in between July and November, okay?
Absolutely. I need a break from month to month. It feels like I need to take Monday, a Friday. Need to get some days in there because Lord, y'all stress me. But I mean, it's such a blessing to have a job. I know, particularly this time of year, there's layoffs and things that are happening, and that is very, very, very tough. So it is a blessing to work. That does not mean we don't need time away. So
true.
Hope y'all are enjoying some downtime when you get it. And Laura, how was your Thanksgiving? How were the pies? How was the fam time?
Yes, Thanksgiving was lovely. We got a chance to see family, hang out for a bit. My daughter got a chance to catch up with her cousins. My pies turned out really well. Shout out to my sweet potato pie. And I'm not even to my own horn. Okay. They were delicious. I have to make you a pie. Do you eat sweet potato pie though? I didn't think you did. So that's why
I'm not a pie fan, but literally this Thanksgiving, I said my brother was being a hater because he loves pie. So he didn't want me to touch his pie. But I was like, hey, I feel like it's they say every 7 years you should retry stuff you don't like and all this. So this was going to be my year to retry stuff. And he was trying to dissuade me. So I ended up just eating my lemon cake, which was delicious. My mom puts her foot in her lemon cake. But I'm down to try some pie. I'm down to try it.
Well, I'll keep you posted on that then, because it's so funny. I was like, should I have done a trial run in October? It's like, I don't know if you ever go through this, but it's like you make something special at the same time of year every year. So you feel like you're a bit out of practice.
Because you literally only make it one time a year. Yes. Well, my birthday's coming up, so you can keep practicing if you want to.
Okay. Well, in addition to that, though, produce. So one year when so like all of our ancestors, I have cooked based off how my spirit feels, right? But I've also started writing stuff down so I can at least have a guide to remind me how to do things. So when I first wrote down my recipes, it was like, 4 to 5 sweet potatoes. Well, guess what? Sweet potatoes, depending on how you get them, they could be really big one year. They could be very small. And mine were very skinny actually this year. And I was like, is this going to be enough to make my pie?
Not the skinny potatoes.
But okay, let's get to what matters though. I saw Wicked again. So I have seen Wicked. Me and my family, my core family, my husband and my daughter, we've seen Wicked twice in theaters.
So there's one to see.
We went because my mom wanted to see it. And I was like, I got you. So Thanksgiving itself was great. I will say, coming back to work, my family, specifically my dad's side, shout out to the Perkins, was hit with another loss. It's rough. This time of year is always difficult because we experienced a loss this time last year. So thank God that I'm here with you today, Ashley.
Yeah, we're definitely keeping your fam in our thoughts and prayers and everybody else who's dealing with a lot of that this time of year in terms of family loss. And, it's a happy time of year, but I know that, holidays can also be tough. So thinking about everybody. My Thanksgiving was fantastic. I could not wait to eat. We
What did
had
you bring, or did you do the cleanup? Like, what is
so
your job,
so
Ashley?
my assignment this year was the ham, and I brought the ham, and
Okay.
I went extra and also brought wine, and then
Okay.
even more extra, I brought a relative because I was on
Mm.
the duty of picking up one of my cousins and delivering her for Thanksgiving. So, my plate was full, and it was, kind of my core family, mom, brother, my cousin. My mom had invited a couple other family members that didn't make it this year, but we had a great time. I mean, it was very relaxing. Like I said, could not wait to eat. And then we went down like family rabbit holes on family history and sending a bunch of family pictures of relatives to like our family group chat. It was very nice. And then you
Wonderful.
talk about like African American family traditions of food and stuff. We started rewatching High on the Hog on Netflix. If y'all have not watched that,
Really
you should watch
excellent.
it.
Superb.
Yep, yep.
Absolutely recommend it.
So yeah, it was a great time. And then post Thanksgiving meals, Thanksgiving weekend, I went and saw Moana 2.
Oh, we
And
saw that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't remember Moana 1. I think we talked about this on the mic before because I've only seen it maybe once all the way through
And
before.
that's blowing my mind
I
because
had to
like
rewatch
I
it.
I owned it before I even had a kid. So for me, I'm like, what? You always
Yeah.
saw it? What? Oh
I had to
yes.
rewatch it. So I rewatched that in the morning and then went and saw Moana 2 with one of my friends in the afternoon. And I thought Moana 2 really, was a step up in terms of like the action and all of that. Like it never got
Okay.
too crazy to me, but I was like,
I
okay,
I
y'all added
didn't
quite a
love
bit
it
in this.
though. I didn't love
I did.
it.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
I
I
really
loved her
enjoyed it.
relationship with her sister. I thought that was sweet. And
That
of
was cute.
course, I love the overall arching message of like, when you're on a journey, it's okay to get lost. It's okay to look at things in multiple ways. I love that core message.
Yeah, there was also some redemption in this one a bit with certain elements, but I'm not going to get too deep because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who has not seen Moana 2. Yes, I'll give y'all some time, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So all in
Yes.
all, great holiday. Was sad. Like I stretched my 4 day weekend as long as humanly possible. I didn't go to sleep till like 1:30 in the morning on Sunday. I was like, no, I'm not ready because
Yeah.
I made it a point of like I'm going to relax. Like as soon as I shut my laptop Wednesday, I said I'm not doing anything productive. We not podding this week. I don't want to talk about work. I don't want to talk about anything. Like I want my
Yeah.
mind to just rest.
Rest. And that's important. It's
Yes.
so funny. One of my favorite people in the world, she said that, you've had a good vacation when you come back and you forget your password. And I always think about that whenever I take a break. I'm like, okay, what's my password?
If only I had that type of time. I would
I
love like
know.
a 2 week vacation. So many people take 2 weeks off, and I'm like, I've never taken 2 weeks off
I've
in my
never
life.
done that. 2 weeks. I've
Two
taken
full weeks.
close to 2 weeks. This year was the first time. And that was paired up with a holiday. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't a 2 full weeks though.
Someday I'll get on that level someday. But we are back for our usual headlines and hot topics episode, guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, Nick Cannon, while we've been away, was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I don't think I've ever been less shocked about a diagnosis in my life.
Girl, listen.
Well, I was just gonna say I saw it come on my like feed, and then I just kind of was like, okay. And then my brother even sent it to me as like, hey, did you hear about this? And I'm like, what does this matter? Like, does it matter to us? Like, it doesn't
Does
matter
it
to us.
matter? Because at the end of the day, is his behavior going to change?
Is his behavior going to change, and is this real? That's my thing. Like, as much as people wanted to question Amanda Seals' autism diagnosis, are we not going to question this one? Like, what doctor do you go
Listen,
to? What did they say are the indicators that you have this? Because I feel like it could just be a way, in my opinion, to garner like some public sympathy for all the BS that you be doing, and I'm
is
not here
it?
for it. I feel like it could be because it's like, hey, actually, I have a diagnosis. I'm not 100%. And
If
like,
that's
yes,
the
we know
case,
that.
a lot of famous men may be under that umbrella.
Cam, go ahead and take that test.
Listen, yo. She's referring to Cam Newton for those who didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Well, hopefully he gets the help he thinks he needs. I mean, does that mean he's not gonna be nobody's daddy, in the future? He ain't gonna get his baby moms pregnant again. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. He has 12 children, right?
12.
At this point. And so I don't know if y'all have like I don't usually try to make a point to go to Nick Cannon's Instagram, but
I
because
do
it's the
not.
holidays, I'm like, who got to spend time with him for Halloween? Who got to spend time with him for Thanksgiving? Who's gonna get him for Christmas? And
I
that's
think
a
Mariah kids might definitely get him for Christmas. I'm just
n-
joking.
but
I'm
no, that is fair because she's the queen of Christmas. So,
exactly. Is he
but
gonna
if
be
you
up in
peep,
Aspen with Mariah and them?
he said a little bit of East Coast, a little bit of Aspen, a little bit of Big Bear. So maybe he's going to do multiple families. I don't know, but I find it fascinating because I just don't know where he gets the energy, right? He has lupus, he has multiple things going on. How do you have the energy to spread yourself this thin? I've never understood it, but I just found it to be interesting and just thought it was worth note. So y'all let us know what y'all think about Nick's diagnoses. All right, let's move on. We have not still become a political podcast. Okay. But I just feel like still before Trump goes ahead and gets his ass back in office, we got to talk about some things when they pop up. So Joe Biden had been talking about the fact that he was not going to pardon Hunter after, you know, he got some charges laid on him.
Mm-hmm.
He was adamant. He said it multiple times. I'm not getting in the middle of this. I'm not pardoning him. I'm not pardoning him. He's now pardoned him. And people feel some type of way, apparently, even amongst the Democratic Party. How do you feel? Does this change your perception of Joe Biden as he's about to leave out of office at all?
What are you doing for Christmas? Like, are you like doing the ham again? Because like my family's coming down and we're gonna
Are
figure
you
out the
not wanting to
menu.
answer the question?
America voted for a felon to be president of the United States, a man who says that our democracy as we know it today may not exist after 4 years of him being in power. The Supreme Court has given that man immunity once he gets in power again. I have nothing to say about Joe Biden protecting his son from the circus that is about to approach in a mere several weeks from now. So I'm still figuring out my Christmas menu, and I think I might go Italian a little bit with like a lasagna, but then I don't know. I'll talk to my family about it.
That was such an interesting way to come in and out of that topic. I don't know what I'm doing for Christmas yet, but you guys, it is my birthday season. So me and Jesus, what up? I also don't have any strong feelings about this whatsoever. I've been surprised that there has been because to your point, there's so many other psychotic things that happen politically that just get normalized that I was like, what did y'all ever like he lied to y'all, sure, but I knew he was lying. I feel like y'all knew he was lying.
And Joy
So
Reid said, "You don't think he was going to protect his only living son from again, whoever he's going to have in charge of FBI, CIA, what have you? They're going to be hunting that man down for the rest of his life if Joe didn't step in. He did what he did. And, for the Democrats who speak out about it, I'm like, that's nice. this discourse didn't help y'all this season either. So,
and I don't feel like it matters. Like, it doesn't
I,
hurt the Democratic Party at all for
it
him to
does
make
not.
this
He is
decision.
what they called a sitting duck president. This is what they do. They pardon people.
Yeah.
I
And it's
mean,
not, he's not the
Trump
first.
pardoned his son-in-law's father, who was actually convicted of federal crimes, and made him the
Charles Kushner.
ambassador of France. That is the cushiest job you can ask for.
Yeah, Trump pardoned Charles Kushner. Bill Clinton pardoned his half brother Roger, who had pleaded guilty to a drug charge on his last day of office. I mean, it's not a new thing whatsoever. And again, this is his child. I always knew he was lying. I knew he was going to do what he was going to do. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, maybe this is one of the things that the Democratic Party needs to figure out for the next election cycle is like, y'all ain't, no one is perfect. No one is a saint. The Democratic Party is not a saintly, holier than thou party. Like,
I
it's just
mean, the
not. The Republicans
Republicans,
are fine to get in the mud.
they
Democrats, y'all in the mud too,
relish.
baby.
Yep.
Y'all in the mud too. That's fine. It's fine. It's
It is what it
politics.
is. It's politics. So one of the most important things I learned, especially after the 2020 racial reckoning and all this, that, the other, politicians are not activists. Politicians are not pastors. Politicians are not, you know what I mean? They're not
Mm-hmm.
spiritual leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They are politicians. And technically, the leaders should be within the community because they are supposed to represent the community. So take that as you will.
All right. Let's move on to our final headline. Billboard ranking of the greatest pop stars of the 21st century. I guess they released these. I didn't pay attention that they were releasing them not at one time. So it was like a build up to number one.
It was.
And case surprise, surprise, not for me, but for some other people, Beyonce has been ranked as Billboard's number one greatest pop star of the 21st century. Billboard said, while Taylor Swift is the century's biggest pop star by the numbers, Beyonce tops our staff chosen editorial list based on her full 25 years of influence, impact, and evolution. They made that reference because Taylor Swift came in at number 2, Rihanna at number 3, Drake at number 4, Gaga at 5, Britney Spears at 6, Kanye West at 7, Justin Bieber at 8, Ariana Grande at 9, Adele at 10. I'm going to go ahead and still mention Usher too in there at number 11. It's a 25 is the full list with Katy Perry being number 25. Delora, what'd you think of the list? Did you feel this was accurate on Billboard's part? What did you think of Beyonce being named number one? And did you pay attention to any of the backlash from the Swifties?
I was fully aware of the backlash of the Swifties because, of course, surprise, case surprise, surprise, it turned very racist very quickly.
I
I'm glad that.
unfollowed Chicks in the Office IG, by the way, because they really
Oh, what
pissed me off.
happened?
Because they pissed me off. Their whole thing was, you know,
The air sore.
Taylor Swift should have
Okay.
been who should have really been number one with the little eyeballs. And I said, this is the second time. First, y'all hit me with the Ariana Grande over Cynthia Erivo, which y'all wicked review. Now y'all trying to tell me Taylor Swift should have been number one. I'm gonna have to let y'all go.
So listen, Taylor Swift has big numbers, yes, but a lot of what Taylor Swift has done, Beyonce did first. And that helps make her the number one greatest pop star of the 21st century. Beyonce was the first woman to have a stadium tour. Beyonce was the first artist in modern history to drop music unannounced on a Friday. Guess when most CDs are released now? On Fridays. She came with us with, the number one hits and visual albums. And I think what's really important about Beyonce is how potent her cultural impact is. When Beyonce does something, it changes culture or it just helps bring it to the surface, right? Everything from, okay, ladies, let's get information, right? what she did with Afrobeats artists. We know who Burna Boy is. We know who Tim's is. What she's done recently in country. We know Tanner Adele. We know Raina Reynolds. And the fact that she's been doing it for this long, it is not surprising that she is number one.
I feel like you said it so eloquently because all I was going to say is, and it's completely possibly biased on my part, is there is no competition between Taylor Swift and Beyonce in terms of who is the better entertainer.
And
It
this
is
is pop
an
music,
absurd conversation to me to have. Yes, y'all can give her
actual
accolades.
vocal talent
Y'all can give
and
her
dancing
numbers
abilities.
because of who she appeals to and the number of those people that live in this country. But y'all will never, ever, 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 ever convince me or show me any evidence that Taylor Swift is a even remotely good entertainer compared to Beyonce. Beyonce is an entertainer's entertainer. She is the Michael Jackson of our
Yes.
generation.
And exactly. Exactly. We say
Incomparable.
this seriously. Seriously. I I love Blakely so much. In one of his videos of Taylor Swift several years ago, he was like, she's practiced for months and she still can't control her body on stage.
I mean, I
I'm just
know
saying,
that it sounds
she
like we be bashing her, but we're not.
it's not, it's just Beyonce's performance whenever she does it is so thought out, is so meticulous. And the fact that when you're able to pick up on those Easter eggs, it is just mind blowing. And yes, Taylor Swift is very big on Easter eggs and everything like that too. Again, we give credit where credit's due. She is a songwriter. Her last album was just not it though for me. It was more of the same. But to me, if it didn't go to Beyonce, I'm like, this ain't the Grammys, y'all. Like, we're talking.
Let's be fucking for real. Okay? Let's be for real. What'd you think of the other folks who were on the list? Was anybody missing?
Ooh, that's a great question. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit later, of course, but I didn't realize Ariana Grande was so high. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan, but like top 10, whoa. Like, you know what I mean? I was surprised by that.
I mean, vocal ability, she knocks
She
it out the
got it.
park.
She got it.
But if
Yes,
we're,
she
I think
does.
Bruno should be moved down the list. I would swap out Bruno with Miley Cyrus. That's me. That's me.
Wait, what?
Miley
So,
Cyrus is 15.
huh? I'm really wait, let me think. I feel like I'm being confused by like what you're saying.
So
Wait.
I would move Bruno down the list in terms of him being at a lower number. So he does not need to be number
Oh,
20. He should be in the
okay.
teens.
Got it. Okay. So for me, I'm thinking number one is going like, I don't know.
It's
Maybe
probably because
I'm
of the way I'm looking at it. 25 is at the top for me, and
yeah. Got it.
it's
Yeah.
in the descending order, or is that
Got it.
ascending? Whatever. But yeah. So when I see Bruno, I'm like 20.
Oh
It must
yeah.
be due to y'all feel like influence that y'all are giving Nicki Minaj and some of these people higher ranking than Bruno Mars. 'Cause Bruno Mars shuts it down.
Just also for clarification, this is the 21st century, so this does not include the 80s. I'm trying to get technical here. 21st century, so that's January 1st, 2001. Okay, yeah, because I'm like Michael Jackson when I first saw the list, but I'm like,
21st
okay,
century.
yeah,
Yes.
so that's 2001 and beyond until December 31st, 2100. Ooh, we won't even be here, Ashley.
We'll
Will
see.
we?
We'll see. They may freeze us or something. Who knows?
Yeah, okay.
I think the list is pretty comprehensive. I don't think I looked at it and saw anybody that I felt like was glaring that was missing. Now, I've really
Yeah,
only looked at it smooth one or two times. So y'all let us know if there's anybody y'all feel like they should have included on this list, but I felt like it was pretty solid as of right now.
I agree.
All right, Delora, let's move on to our two hot topics. So our first one is this Drake. This man has filed two legal motions against UMG, alleging that they spiked Kendrick's Not Like Us streams. This comes after, at least public perception, Drake lost the rap battle between he and Kendrick that had multiple songs back and forth. And so he decided that enough was enough. Let me call my lawyers up. There's been a lot of public discourse about whether or not this is going to impact Drake even further in terms of public perception, in terms of culture, all of these things. What were your thoughts when you heard about these legal motions? And do you think this is going to turn into a full-blown lawsuit?
What a loser. Whoa. So whack. You cannot take an L. This is exactly what Kendrick was talking about. He's a fan. He's a fan. He's a fan. He is a fan of the culture, not of it. Ashley. Oh, I was sick. I was sick when I saw that. I'm like, sir, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, never in our hip hop dreams,
girl,
have we seen a rap battle turn into a legal lawsuit. What's hilarious is I saw Van post on Instagram. So now all rumors in rap battles have to be litigated. And he like listed a bunch of them and it was hilarious.
Because they're ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Now, is there any facts behind payola and all these things that he's alleging? Yes, there are. But the funny thing is a lot of these things have benefited Drake throughout his career.
That is what I am saying.
So and now like, he wants to cry foul.
Listen,
because
he
his
cannot
nemesis,
believe that people are bumping Not Like Us around the freaking world.
I was shocked. I wasn't even like disgusted. I was like, are you kidding me? And then Charlemagne posted a video from 6 months ago where his crazy self said, they were asking, what's the next step? So he said lawsuit. The fact that he was accurate, I think must even blow his mind. Because who would have seen this coming? It's embarrassing.
Manager, I need to talk to a manager.
I have my initial reaction because I sent it to one of my friends. Let me find it. I said, suing his own label sounds wild to me. I've never been much of a fan beyond a single or two of Drake's, but this ish is giving me secondhand embarrassment at this point. This was a rap beef and Drake called in his legal team. Like those were my initial thoughts when I saw this. And I just feel like maybe it won't harm the hardcore, diehard fans. But Drake, I will never look at you the same again. I will never look at you the same again.
I wonder if this is gonna make him a hip hop pariah in that, like, who's gonna want to rock with him still?
Give it time. People have the memories of Goldfish these days. Well,
if certain world events aren't a reflection of that,
girl. But I'm not gonna forget. Like again, for me too. I've never been some huge diehard fan. So it was not a loss for him to go away from my music catalog. I could care less. Now, for people who really get into hip hop, are they gonna listen to his next album? You know, I'm curious to see. But speaking of next albums,
I mean, he has been able to make it past ghostwriting allegations and
pedophilia allegations.
Girl,
grooming.
And still have career, but this right here, this takes the cake apparently.
Well, yeah, because it's snitching. It's cultural snitching for a lot of people. It's like, oh, you went to the popo. You went to the popo to resolve this because you got shot verbally. You got shot up.
A minor. That song was a hit, and it was not because of payola.
It was a bop.
It was a bop.
Speaking of music, have you listened to Kendrick's new album? Because he dropped a surprise album, GNX, and people have had thoughts. What'd you think?
They have. I actually didn't get a chance to listen to the whole thing just yet because, you know, Kendrick got double, triple, quadruple entendres. So like I haven't made it through. But what I do like, obviously I like Squabble Up. I really like Man at the Garden. He pretty much is like, I earned this. Everything I got, I deserve everything coming to me. You know, I think it's smart. I think this is his way of having some material headed into the Super Bowl. Because somebody said it, and I do agree. Drake is trying to make sure he doesn't perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl because you know what Not Like Us is giving when it
Bum,
comes to
bum, bum.
Drake.
Bum, bum, ba-dum. Yeah. Sorry.
Um so so yeah, I think Kendrick has always been a monster when it comes to rap views. And this is going down in history for sure.
Absolutely. One for the books. I will say Kendrick and SZA also announced a 2025 North American tour.
They
Is this about to
did.
become the new norm of like you drop an album, you perform at Super Bowl, and you go on
And you do
tour?
it.
Is
Yes,
that the new
because guess
blueprint?
what? That is called getting that money. Okay. A lot of these artists don't make money making music videos, they make money going on tour. So the biggest exposure for artists is Super Bowl. And yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I'm glad he's taking SZA. They got great hits together. I also enjoyed Luther. I think I said that, maybe. I don't know. How about you? Did you listen to his album?
I have not listened to it yet. My brother literally called me the day it dropped, and I was like, oh, "Okay, hip hop is not. If this was R&B conversation, then I'm there day of. But I'm going
I
to
was
catch
listening
it.
to it day of. I just haven't made it all the way through.
Yeah, I'm going to
So
catch it. It's just not top of my musical list, especially not right now, y'all. It's Christmas season. Do y'all know I have a full, robust Christmas playlist?
oh, I didn't know that. You know what's
Girl, robust.
I actually haven't been listening to as much Christmas music as I thought I would be by now. And I'll tell you why soon.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move into our final hot topic, and that is Wicked. You said you've gone to see it now twice, but we went to see it together when it dropped that opening
We did.
weekend. We
Yes.
accidentally saw it in 3D, which we were a little iffy about, but turned out spectacular,
It
actually.
was it was great.
So tell the people about your experience seeing Wicked the first time.
So I mentioned how I haven't really been listening to Christmas music, and that's because I've been singing Loathing, unadulterated loathing. I love this movie. Is it 2 hours and 40 minutes long? Absolutely. And it was worth every minute. Ashley, when you're in it, you don't feel how long the movie is because it is such, y'all, I finally got Ashley reading a fantasy book that I've been talking about for the last 3 years, and it's bringing joy to my heart. But what I love about fantasy when it comes to novels is the world building. And I feel like John Chu and his staff for this movie built Oz up in such a way that it was just spectacular. It was
Stunning.
visually stunning. The movie and Cynthia Erivo's performance was breathtaking. They said they planted 9 million tulips, worth every single one of them. Okay. Munchkin Land was phenomenal. Oz was phenomenal. The costumes, shout out to Mr. Paul. I mean, it was just spectacular. And I bawled my eyes out in this movie, actually. Easily one of my favorite movies of all time. And this is just part one. I don't
This
even know
is
what part
just
two
part one.
is going to do to me. Okay. I have no idea. Because my favorite song from, okay, y'all, also some background. Huge fan of the original cast soundtrack, and I've seen it on stage. So I've already been a Wicked fan. So to see it in its cinematic version was such a treat. And one of my favorite songs of all time from that soundtrack was For Good. So, and Defying Gravity didn't even touch For Good for me. And what Cynthia and Ariana did, and then Cynthia at the end bawling, y'all, bawling my eyes out, like I like out of nowhere. I'm like, and nobody in all of us, no wizard that there is or was, like I have been bursting out of nowhere, and along with my daughter, and my husband actually loves it too. We got our Defy Gravity t-shirts. My husband got a Wicked sweatshirt. I was like, I've won.
Wow.
He's been converted. I All right, Ashley, how about you?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I had seen Wicked on stage as well, but I didn't remember the story. And I'm so glad that I didn't really remember the story like that so that I could
Yes.
relive it fresh for this experience. I think that Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba was so moving. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like,
Yes.
I felt her, that character
Yes.
so deeply. And Ariana Grande as Glinda embodied that experience as well. So
I agree.
they leading the cast just just transformed this story for me in such a way that made the movie experience like I was glued to my seat. Like I said, seeing it in 3D, I didn't know if I was going to enjoy, because I usually don't enjoy 3D, but I feel like it just enhanced the experience so much. I almost cried. I teared up at one particular point in the film that I don't want to spoil for anybody if you haven't seen it yet, but it definitely gets emotional. And to your point, that defying gravity high note that Cynthia hits, that I'm sure y'all have heard, gives you just as many chills and feels in theaters, if not more, than you would have had when you've listened to it probably at home. So it
I'm glad
was
that you said
spectacular.
that, because when I first saw the trailer and heard her rendition of what they call the battle cry, I was like, oh, like, I'm like, this is different. And it makes sense that it was going to be different because this is Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba, right? Similar to Halle in The Little Mermaid, how she added her, you know, black
Sauce.
magic to part of your world. But I think it's worth saying this, Ashley. Elphaba being played by a black woman hits different. It hits so different. And I say that because all I kept thinking, you know, especially in this time in our country, I'm like, Elphaba was the 92%, and Glinda represented everybody like, we ain't got your back. I hope you're happy now,
Yeah.
now that you're choosing this.
And it also,
so how she ultimately was by herself at the end, like,
I think it also will transform your perception of, your experience with the Wizard of Oz. Because if you
yes,
grew up watching the Wizard of Oz and the Wiz and know that story, you have to look at all of that through a much different lens once you watch Wicked and once you understand the spin on everything, right? And so again, did I start to feel the 2 hours and 40 minutes? Yes, because I got hungry. But other than that, I was like, after the movie wrapped, I was like, wow, that would, like, if I had expectations, it far and away exceeded anything I could
blew
have
it
imagined. To
out
your
the
point,
water.
visually, it was stunning. I like John Chu. Everything he does visually just blows
Yes,
me away. Him and
yes,
production design and everything they put together was gorgeous. And then, just I think just the choreography,
girl.
the supporting
What?
cast with Jonathan Bailey and Jeff
Yes,
Goldblum and
yes,
just everybody just played their part so well. I
yes.
think we said after the film 10 out of 10. Like, it was phenomenal.
I want to live in Oz. Like the fact that they built these sets, it better be in some theme park tomorrow. Like
Universal, what we doing?
y'all better do what needs to be done. Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys have not seen Wicked yet, moral of the story is go see that film
Go see
in
it
theaters. I think that when
in
we saw it in
theaters.
IMAX. So that
We
also
did.
helps.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And girl, what is this feeling? That choreography with those books. Oh, and my boo, Bowie Yang. He's a star. Like, I love him so much.
Yeah.
Does a wonderful job being a lackey for sure.
All right, guys, that is it. That is all for this week. Delora, what are we recapping for the people next week?
All right, y'all. We did part 1. This is part 2 of season 7 of Netflix hit reality show Love is Blind. So these are episodes 7 through 13. So through this freaking reunion. Okay, y'all. We are out of the pods. We are out of Mexico. We are in the real world, y'all. Will these couples make it?
Yeah, I got sucked in on this second half. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I got real invested, and I was like,
"It was a mess,
man." All right, we have a special guest who will be joining us for that recap as well.
Yes.
All right, guys, stick with us. Stay tuned for that. We'll be back. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please share with everybody you know. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.